Theories from all around the internet sent in by y'all that are going to make us question life. Thank you, Eric, for the video.
New York City. Now, is it just me, or are people really different out here? Nowadays, you see people do things they couldn't do in the past. People are claiming they're hybrid alien children. Well, maybe they are, because I don't remember anyone who can do this. Let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments. Unanswered Universe.
It's like he extinguished the fire. Thank you, Hector, for the next couple of videos.
Ultimately took 12 steps. That's where the alcoholics have a 12-step program. So do you have a 12-step program. You go to school in the first grade and you end up in the 12th grade. It's a 12-step program. And consequently, Horus was the sun. The sun walked across the sky in 12 steps, called 12 Horuses. H-O-R-U-S, Horus. We today change it around and make it H-O-U-R-S. So it's 12 hours, it's actually 12 Horuses. And the sun brings light into the world. It walks across the sky in 12 steps and brings light into the world. And so consequently, and light in Latin was Lucius, or Luke Skywalker. He does battle with Darth Vader, the Prince of Darkness. So all of this is very interesting, but it's making the point that the Eye of Horus is also known as the Eye of Ra. It represents the sun and expresses the divine omnipotence of God, the Creator. So in the ancient Egyptians, the sun represented the presence of God.
A crazy red ribbon story. So when you're in Japan, like I said, once you're gonna get sent into the morgue, they give you a red ribbon.
Like a red band.
Yeah, like a red band, yeah. And in Canada, we have a white ribbon with all of our information on it, right?
Yeah.
There was this doctor, right, that I think he worked overnight, and his last patient was supposedly at 2 a.m., right? So he's like, all right, let me take a break. I'm gonna go to the basement. So he goes into the basement with another woman. He's just talking. He's like, oh, how's your day? How's this? Everything's normal.
Yeah.
They get to the basement, right? The doors open. They see an old guy, like an old patient, walking, and he's getting closer and closer to the elevator, right? And the guy, he starts spamming the close the elevator door.
Yeah.
And the woman's like, excuse me, sir, fam, like, he's hurting. Why didn't you let him in? He's like, only the dead have a red ribbon. Oh shit.
Yeah,
He asked the woman, did you see that red ribbon, or was it just me? And this is crazy. You know what the woman says?
What?
She says, oh, something like this? She rolls up her sleeve. There's a red ribbon. This guy's talking to ghosts. That's crazy. Yeah, bro.
Broadcasting, they're casting spells to a wide audience, north, east, west, and south. Red for fear, blue for trust. Every word you listen to is molding your mind in some form or way. Your reality is your mind pushed outwardly. Every thought you thought in the past has led you to this very point right now watching this video. Your life is a result of your mind. You need to protect your mind at all cost. They don't govern your body, they govern your ment, which is your mind. It's mind control, because your reality is a result of your mind. Everything you see around you began as a thought in the mind. This pen was a thought before it is a physical thing. Everything begins in the mind before it manifests physically. The world you see around you was manifested from the mind of God. You are a thought in the mind of God.
It starts in the mind, not in the action. Everything starts here first before you do it. Think about that. You don't just do something. You think about it and then you do it. Thank you, Jay, for the video.
Hey, anybody else on here ever check out any of George Carlin's stand-up? One time he said it's a big club and you went...
No, I'll tell you, there is something that I wanted to say, because I was very honored, very, very honored, when I heard that President Bill Clinton and Secretary Hillary Clinton was coming today, and I think it's appropriate to say, and I'd like you to stand up. I'd like you to stand up.
He's clapping hard.
And honestly, there's nothing more I can say, because I have a lot of respect for those two people.
Thank you, Earthy, for the video.
Take this with a grain of salt, as I am a musician, but we gotta remember that celebrities are agents of the state meant to distract us from what we should be focusing on. Same with the government finally being honest about what we knew about aliens. It's all distraction.
Thank you, November, for the video.
You are currently watching footage of a company who will be delivering sunlight during the dark. Can't believe this is actually real. So this is a company based in California, and they're gonna have satellites that will be orbiting the Earth with mirrors on it. Through these mirrors, the sun will reflect, and wherever you order the sunlight through their app, that's where you'll get it. As crazy as it sounds, they just finished their last on-Earth test where they did it with a hot air balloon. So now they're going to space, and you can apply to order sun starting in the 4th quarter of 2025.
Thank you, Collex, for the video. Oh, okay. I know why this is on here. I think he's showing this because the time traveler went to the Pizza Hut. So he's showing that the old Pizza Hut still exists in certain parts of the world. Ah, looks so great. Yeah, Collect said, I think I found the Time Traveler's Pizza Hut, waiting for a response about the arcade games though. So, like I said, that's what that video was about. Thank you, Scoop, for the video.
What is this as big as it sounds?
I think it potentially is. I mean, it's very early days. So basically, they've discovered that if they use the same technology that they use for and they use some mRNA, which is a messenger part of DNA, they take your particular, they biopsy it, they take some of the protein on your cancer and they put it back into your cells.
How many people have you treated so far?
Well, we've had 10,009 clinical trials in humans so far.
And how many are free?
10,009.
So you have actually cured?
Yes, yes. Yes, we have.
Stay away from what's coming. Thank you, Des, for the next couple of videos.
A typical record deal is structured something like this. The record label gives in advance, say $250,000 to the artist to record an album. The artist then records the album. Suppose that the album sells 500,000 copies at $10 each, yielding $5 million. The record label then takes their cut out of the $5 million, typically 85% of the total sales, leaving the artist with $750,000. But before the artist receives any payments, the label first deducts the advance. In addition, the record label recoups other costs such as recording costs, half the promotion costs, half the video costs, and tour support. This leaves the artist $425,000 in debt to the record label. And then this debt gets carried on to the next album, the next album, and the next album.
Stuck.
I don't know if most people have seen long-form contracts. They're insane.
That is the true definition of selling your soul. Do you hear how they took out all the expenses and the person or the artist was stuck in the negatives? And that carries out through the next album and the next album and the next album. Do you see how you can't get away from the industry? Everything that the world or Babylon promotes, it's going to be a subscription service. It's never going to be a one and done. No, that's how you lose money. They're going to want to keep you. So they got to figure out what they can do to just keep you under them and for you to be leeching off of them, because again, subscription services is what this world operates off of. Look at the medical industry. But y'all know my saying. Y'all want to say it with me? A cured patient is a lost customer.
In 1978 or 79, the Israelis shot down a Libyan civilian aircraft because it had violated Israeli airspace. President Nixon sent a wire to Gaddafi and to Sadat apologizing for this incident. There was no talk about it going into the United Nations. The International Pilots Associations had their meeting. There was 102 nations that voted to condemn Israel and 4 that voted not to, and the American representative abstained. Why? Because we couldn't create an enemy there. But when the Soviets shoot down an airliner, the same situation, we rise in moral outrage against this act. What is the difference? Because it's insistent. We must insist that the Soviets have got to be created as an enemy. Otherwise, if they're not really a big enough enemy, how are we going to get appropriations for more arms?
Carlos Camejo woke up freezing cold and totally confused. It was September 6th, 2007, and all Carlos could remember was being on his motorcycle as he wound his way on his bike through the streets of La Victoria. Carlos tried to open his eyes, but he couldn't, and then when he tried to move his body, he couldn't do that either. And so he began to panic because he's paralyzed. He began to hear unfamiliar voices just kind of chatting. Carlos suddenly felt something metal pressing up against his chin, and it was kind of sharp and it kind of hurt. And then the pain got dramatically worse. It went from just kind of like a poking feeling to something going into his chin, and he felt it moving underneath his skin, and the pain became so blinding that suddenly Carlos was able to kind of break through this paralysis, and his eyes shot open. He saw there were 2 people, and one of them was holding a big needle. They had been stitching his chin, but with no anesthetic. The people in goggles are looking down at Carlos, and they're totally horrified. Earlier that day, when Carlos had been out riding his motorcycle with his friend, he had made a right turn, and parked illegally was this big truck. Carlos didn't see it, and at full speed, he impacted the truck. He was thrown from his bike, smashed into the ground, and when paramedics showed up, they pronounced him dead on the scene. And so he was moved from the scene of the accident to the morgue, and they drew a Y down the center of his chest for his autopsy. Carlos would suffer horrible injuries from the accident and serious emotional trauma from this autopsy, but he would make a full recovery.
Thank you, Epic, for the video.
Back in like the 50s or the 60s, they had a whole movement going on. I might have the decades mixed up. Y'all do the research. But they started saying, yo, the children are eating paint chips. And because there's lead in the paint, we need to start removing all lead paint from now on. Right? Because I know you've heard about lead paint, right? Yeah, no more lead paint. Why? Because the babies is eating paint chips. In your lifetime, have you ever seen any kid eat paint chips before?
No.
You any paint chips? No?
Oh,
Okay. You know, anytime you want somebody to do something without thinking, just say it's hurting the children. You know what I'm saying? Why would they want to remove lead paint from the homes?
Because
here we go
of technology, because of it blocks radiation.
There we go.
It blocks radiation.
Look at them neurons firing. Superman is all powerful, but hey, put that kryptonite in a lead box, he won't know it's there. So how else am I gonna get frequencies, 5G and all that stuff to permeate through your walls and through your home, affecting you so I could see through your house and see your body and connect with you as a network if your paint got lead in it and I can't get in there? So get some lead paint, y'all. You didn't hear that from me.
Is it still?
Yeah, there's still lead paint. Yeah, they got EMF shielding paints and everything. It's a listen, there's a whole world.
Thank you, JD, for the video.
You're telling me for 40 years mosquitoes don't like what? Ain't no way.
That they use vanilla extract for mosquito repellent.
All right, so you just get a spray bottle. It's just got water in it. You get you some vanilla extract, and it called for like 10 to 15 drops of this. Give her a little shake. Oh wow, I smell good. Smell like I just come out of the bakery. Go outside for a little while, see what happens. Mosquitoes love me. I must have tasty skin. I'm just gonna walk around for a little bit, see if I get bit.
Little bit, see if I get bit. Sorry, that was funny. Wow.
I didn't get bit at all. Normally out here for this amount of time, I'd probably be bit 10 or 15 times. I'll be smacking. I think it's cause for a cannonball.
You're not gonna do it. Thank you, Eric, for the next couple of videos.
I don't like you people to use chemicals. We use natural food.
Yeah.
Which heals. Can I tell you?
Yeah.
This is produced by chemicals.
It is. It's very true.
You are putting chemicals in your body. When you say it, you don't care what will happen. You are saying, I'm wearing a good shirt.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That you are practicing witchcraft on your body yourself with your mind. So people don't think about that.
And Fisi, but they tell me it's breathable, and it's got air-wicking pockets, and it's sweat-proof.
What about this?
I mean, that's just gazelle, right? That's just one gazelle skin.
I was reading through what it was saying, and it was saying how thrifting is actually a great option. So for you to get like pre-owned clothes because they have fewer chemicals. I'm saying this because I want to know how many of y'all thrift. That's the most hidden gem I've ever like found in my entire life. I love to thrift. I look at it as like another man's trash is another man's treasure. I mean, that's just how I look at it, but I love thrifting. So I just wanted to know if that was something that you guys do, because at the end of the day, again, this was about the clothes and how chemicals and stuff of that nature, but how thrifting is more of a great option because of the fact that it has been repeatedly washed over and over.
There's metal in baby food. In this video, a woman runs a magnet over her baby's oatmeal and finds tiny metal shards. Crazy, right? So of course, we had to try it out to see if it was legit. First, I had to grab some Gerber oatmeal, the same brand in the video. Please don't sue me, Gerber. And I also need to grab one of these Ziploc bags. And now I opened this box of oatmeal, still sealed, and put it into the bag. If we do find metal, can someone please explain why this is in baby food? Here are my super duper strong magnets from Home Depot. Almost instantly, I began to pick up tiny metal shards. Look at that. Oh my God. There are tons of little metal pieces. Can someone please explain this in the comments? Is this even safe? Let me know.
I don't think that's good to be having in baby food. They're saying that that's iron and that the babies need it.
Did you know that eels are the only animals in the world that we have no idea where they came from? Like the weird fish in the oceans, scientists have done like observations of them, and eels during a specific time in the year, regardless of where they are, will literally all travel to the Bermuda Triangle. And that's where they link up, no matter where they are from. Europe, the freshwater rivers of the United States. When it's time to mate, they just all go to the Bermuda Triangle. And it's dangerous for scientists to study them. So it's a bit hard, so we don't really know where they originate from. And the females and males have no reproductive organs. So like, how do they reproduce? Also, they did a test where they put the eels inside a bucket. Then when it was time to mate, they all swam in the direction of the Bermuda Triangle. You know how people like have speculated like octopuses being aliens, right? People think eels also might not be from here. And then the theory goes on to claim that there was a meteor that crashed in the Bermuda Triangle and allegedly crashed 65 million years ago, coincidentally, when the dinosaurs were gone.
Top 8 banned candies that can kill. Watch until the end, because the last one will shock you. 8. Twizzlers. Marketed as low-fat, these candies are high in sugar, with refined flour and artificial additives. Their chewy nature also makes them bad for dental health.
Yeah?
7. Starburst. Despite being colorful and fun, Starburst is nutritionally poor.
Dang.
It contains 34 grams of sugar per pack, corn syrup and artificial coloring, with no dietary fiber or protein. 6. Butterfinger. The fun-sized version of Butterfinger is particularly unhealthy, with 85 calories, 8.5 grams of sugar, and 4 grams of fat per serving. They also contain harmful artificial ingredients. 5. Laffy.
Not Laffy.
This
Taffy.
candy is harmful due to its high content of hydrogenated oils, trans fats, which increase cholesterol levels and are linked to heart and neurological conditions. 4. Tootsie Roll. Mainly composed of sugar, corn syrup, and partially hydrogenated soybean oil, a type of trans fat, Tootsie Rolls are unhealthy despite their long shelf life. 3. Airheads.
Airheads are
These
fire.
candies are packed with sugar and have a chewy texture that can damage teeth. They're also artificially flavored too, Toffee Crisp. Banned in the US due to packaging similarities with Reese's peanut butter cups, Toffee Crisp is high in sugar, but was not necessarily banned for health reasons. 1. Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruths go crazy.
While containing protein-packed peanuts, Baby Ruth bars are also high in sugar. with 10 grams of sugar in a fun-sized bar, making them unhealthy. Share this video and comment where you are from, and click link in my bio to get healthy.
Most of those candies that they showed, grew up on, ate them, but those are also the candies that messed me up. Those are the candies that I had to get root canals, I had to get cavities filled, I had to get tooth pulled. Like, stay away from the candies. If you want something sweet or you're just craving like just something to get rid of that sweet tooth, eat fruit. Because that's really what your body is craving. You just think it's this stuff. But it could possibly be because of all the stuff that they're doing to make this food or this candy good. But in reality, it's the fruit that you're craving, not the actual candy. Then I'm gonna have somebody in the comment section, no, I'm actually craving the candy.
Hey, bro. Y'all know about Cuz. Y'all know Cuz. Right? Listen to this.
In 5 years, we're going to see 415,000 low-orbit satellites. Bill
That was a
Gates says
specific
he has
number.
65,000 satellites alone. We'll be able to look at every square inch of the planet 24 hours a day. They're putting in 5G to harvest our data and control our behavior. Digital currency that will allow them to punish us from a distance and cut off our food supply.
Did y'all not just hear what he just said? Cuz is about to put up 65,000 satellites, low orbit. Y'all peep that too, right? To spy on us. 24-hour surveillance. We ask ourselves why. Let me ask y'all something. How has y'all meals been? Have they been the same? Is your stomach still the same? There's reasons for everything. Y'all gotta figure that shit out. Oh my God!
Shalom, I pray you're all doing well. Before we get into the rest of the video, I want to take a moment to thank each and every single one of you for your continued love and support. To show my gratitude, I'm excited to announce our monthly appreciation giveaway. Each month, I'll be randomly selecting some of you to receive a special thank you gift. Here's how you can join in. Simply comment as you normally would below this video and just add your Cash App name at the end of your comment. Winners will be chosen randomly so everyone has an equal chance to win. I'm incredibly excited to give back to this amazing community that has supported me so generously and that Yahuwah and Yahusha has blessed me with. Thank you once again for everything. Your support means the world to me, and I can't wait to see who our first blessed winners will be. Stay tuned for more updates and surprises on this channel. Now back to the rest of the video.
Huge problem with what some are calling gang violence at an apartment complex in Aurora.
The video shows a group of men walking up a stairwell at the Edgett Lowry apartment complex in Aurora. All of them appear to be carrying rifles and handguns, and the video shot earlier this month. One of the men can be seen talking on a cell phone. They all then gather around a door and go in. Another video clip shows men forcing a door open. The video was shot in the building where Cindy and Edward Romero lived until today. They loaded up their stuff and moved out.
It's been a nightmare and I can't wait to get out of here.
The couple's car and many others here were riddled with bullets after a shootout at the complex earlier this month. The Romeros say the trouble started when a large number of migrants began moving in. They had not been able to move out for different reasons.
The city nonprofits have lined up to help the migrants that have come here, but nobody is helping the American citizens, the residents that are trapped in these apartment complexes. This isn't just Americans. This is other Venezuelans that are living under this control, that are being extorted by the control of this gang.
We did speak to the mayor's office this afternoon. They sent us a statement saying that so far there are no code enforcement violations taking place at this complex.
I was in a Dorito. Somebody put me watching this while eating Doritos is crazy. Come on.
Stop buying these canned fishes if you care about your health. Watch until the end, because the last one is someone's favorite. 10. Tuna. Canned tuna, especially albacore, is high in mercury, which can cause cognitive defects, heart disease, and other health issues. Pregnant women and children should avoid consuming high mercury fish like tuna. 9. Salmon. Canned salmon can be high in sodium, and farmed varieties may contain polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs, and antibiotics, which can lead to health problems like antibiotic resistance and hormonal changes. 8. Crab. Brown crab meat has high levels of cadmium, a toxic heavy metal. Canned crab also tends to be high in sodium, which can negatively impact health. 7. Shrimp. Farmed shrimp, especially from international sources, often contain antibiotics that can lead to antibiotic-resistant infections. Wild-caught shrimp is recommended as a safer alternative. 6. Anchovies. Although nutritious, canned anchovies are extremely high in sodium, which can significantly increase blood pressure. It's advisable to rinse them before consuming. 5. Oysters. Canned oysters may carry Vibrio bacteria, leading to severe infections. They can also be contaminated with heavy metals like lead and mercury.
Wow.
4. Mussels. While nutritious, canned mussels may contain high levels of salt and are at risk of contamination with toxins, like those causing shellfish poisoning. 3. Bluefin tuna. Bluefin tuna, especially from the Atlantic, can contain toxic levels of mercury and bacteria.
What is that?
Consuming it raw in sushi can increase the risk of bacterial infections. 2. Abalone.
I don't know what
Canned
that is.
abalone, especially from China, may contain dangerous levels of heavy metals. It's best to avoid abalone from these regions. 1. Scallops. Raw scallops can carry Vibrio bacteria, posing infection risks. They may also be contaminated with heavy metals like mercury and cadmium.
2016, Simone Barchetta started receiving ominous text from unknown numbers. It's happening to his colleagues as well. Texts saying their wives were cheating on them. Their daughters were in accidents. Others simply contained links to funeral services. Their phones were infected with spyware. Perkyy and his colleagues weren't taking on organized crime in Mexico. They weren't digging up dirt on some oligarch. They were advocating for a national tax on soda aimed at reducing sugar consumption. The spyware was tied to the Mexican government, but years later, we don't have any more definitive details. What we do know is this: the sugar and soda industry was furious about proposed taxes like this one, and had coordinated a massive global effort to defeat them. And this is just one story in a long list of corporate strong-arming and deceit, including straight-up bribery. For over 50 years, the sugar and soda industries have aggressively lobbied the American government and distorted science to keep the public hooked on sweetened foods and beverages. And the target of their latest operation? It's schools.
Yeah.
To fully appreciate the enormous lengths the industry has gone and will continue to go to hold on to their vast empire, we need to start in the 1960s with a trove of confidential documents.
Their letters between executives, their internal scientific studies.
This is Laura Schmidt, a health policy expert at UC San Francisco. Schmidt has a pretty unique insight on the sugar industry, past and present, because she runs an archive that collects all the behind-the-scenes corporate communications for industries that affect public health.
Back in the 1950s and 60s, people were already starting to worry about sugar's role in heart disease.
Scientists such as John Yudkin published books like Pure, White, and Deadly at a time when Americans were becoming more health conscious and concerned with one of the leading causes of death, heart disease.
So the Sugar Association got wind of this and they started to worry. Oh my gosh, that might cut into our profit margins. And so they started to think about, well, what else in the diet can we point the finger at for heart disease?
And so the Sugar Association's research wing approached a team of scientists at Harvard.
And the Sugar Research Foundation, which was part of the Sugar Association, said, hey guys, why don't we pay you to publish in the most prestigious journal outlet in the field of medicine, the New England Journal of Medicine, publish a 2-part review paper that points to all of the reasons that saturated fat and cholesterol might cause heart disease. We used about 200 or 300 documents from the archive to piece together the story of how this all went down. Ultimately, we ran the numbers, and these guys got paid about $49,000 to do this literature review, which wound up being published in the New England Journal of Medicine.
And if you grew up sometime in the 80s or 90s, there's a good chance papers like this influenced your daily life.
I grew up eating margarine, which tastes terrible compared to butter, because you don't want cholesterol, you don't want saturated fat, that'll cause heart attacks. And so many of us wound up really eating more sugar and less saturated fat because of these kinds of dietary recommendations.
An important point of clarification. It's not that every study linking saturated fat to heart disease is wrong. It's that the sugar industry wanted to emphasize these alternate causes as a distraction.
That's it.
It's to say, let's focus on this other thing that may matter and may matter more.
Why cut back on your soda habit when butter is the real enemy? If this seems like a horrific one-time abuse of science, well, the sugar industry never really stopped. A few years later, the same trade group successfully manipulated the dental profession on how to prevent cavities in a way that didn't torpedo sales.
The original cache of documents on the sugar industry was found by my colleague Kristen Kearns, and she was at a conference for the a dental association and was shocked by how much the dental community wasn't talking about sugar. And it's like the most obvious thing. Everyone knows sugar causes cavities, right? And so why are dentists not recommending that kids consume less sugar? And the more she got into it and looked into it and asked questions, the more she realized that it was because the sugar industry had a stranglehold on the dental profession. And so they sort of accept from the get-go that sugar causes cavities, and then they're thinking about, well, how can we keep kids eating sugar while preventing cavities? And so they've looked into all sorts of crazy stuff. We know from the documents they were pushing at the NIH an agenda around trying to find a that would prevent cavities.
It's not just the Sugar Association. Lobby groups for the soda industry, for corn farmers who make high fructose corn syrup, they've all been using their power to keep their profits as high as possible.
Coca-Cola isn't just selling Coke everywhere in the world, it's lobbying governments everywhere in the world. You wanted me to print you out some documents. I have a wonderful one from Coca-Cola, which it's called the Policy Radar Screen. And it's basically a document that Coke International was using to show all the public policies they needed to lobby against. And in the outer corner of the graph, it's like how much it's likely to happen, and on the one side, and then it's how bad is it for business. And on the far corner is soda taxes.
What if demons and alcohol are one and the same?
Alcohol means body-eating spirit, alcohol in Arabic. That's why vodka is called spirits. A jinn is a jinn, which is another type of spiritual entity. Alcohol was developed by alchemists who developed a way of extracting spirits from liquid. Alcohol is a form of a magic potion which the ancients used to alter their consciousness. Alcohol contains ethanol, which is ethanol. Ancient magicians used potions to enhance their speed, strength, or whatever they want. Alcohol is a demonic potion which enhances aggression and violence, because you're being possessed by these entities in the astral plane. This is why people change to dark behaviors when they're intoxicated. The entities within them engage in violence and low-level sexual encounters. Alcohol also weakens the immune system, kills brain cells, and reduces amounts of oxygen to reach the brain. Magic never disappeared. It was veiled in myths and stories to make it seem like a fantasy.
Pay attention now, kiddos. It's not science, it's politics. I've been listening to this for 50 years. In the 60s, it was oil will be gone in 10 years. In the 70s, it was another ice age in 10 years. In the 80s, it was acid rain will destroy all the crops in 10 years. In the 90s, it was the ozone layer will be destroyed in 10 years. In the 2000s, it was the glaciers will all melt in 10 years. In the 2010s, it was the east and west coast will be underwater from rising sea levels in 10 years. None of this fear-mongering nonsense came true, but it did result in higher taxes every time.
Thank you, Big, for the next couple of videos.
Egg. Here's the funny thing. There's actually no eggs in this product. Stop before I show the ingredients. Why do you not want to eat an egg? Who doesn't want to eat an egg? Because it's one of the healthiest foods on the planet. Perfect fats, perfect protein. But if we look at just egg, there's water, mung beans. That's why they're advertising protein. But look, canola oil, and then a lot of other ingredients, including sugars and some things you can't pronounce. If you can't read it, don't eat it. So why are we afraid of an egg? My biochemistry teacher told me that egg is the perfect food for the human. So just egg, it's funny because there's no eggs.
The reason why there is no eggs in here, it shouldn't be, because it's a plant-based egg, meaning if you're plant-based, you're vegan, you're not going to eat animal products. So that's why there's no egg in this product, because it's for the people who are plant-based. I don't understand why there's sugar in there though, but yeah, I just wanted to explain or expound on why there's no eggs in that product. I never had it. I'm not vouching for it. I'm just saying.
An addiction crisis in America when it comes to food, and that's very profitable. I was a consultant for Big Food. There was a very clear objective. They want to make cheap, addictive food. Almost every single chronic condition that is shortening and torturing American life is tied to food. This is obviously a disaster for American health, but for the food companies, it's very profitable. Ultra-processed food is now 70% of our diet, and like the food is literally weaponized with sugar, seed oils, highly processed grains. It's happening in the food industry. It's not a free market, it's a rigged market. Working for the food industry, I helped pay off regulators, pay off the media itself to run stories about how ultra-processed food is healthy, paid off lawmakers, paid off researchers. Coca-Cola pays the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Diabetes Association, the American Society. We did that in spades, millions of dollars to groups that would do that for us. We just went down the list of institutions Americans trust and tried to get them money. That was my job. Humans are born with an innate sense of what's good for us, and that is being taken away by the food industry. Hired all the scientists in the 1980s from the tobacco companies. The tobacco companies, as smoking went down, actually started buying Nabisco and Kraft and shifting their scientists over. The key thing that the food companies know is that ultra-processed food, which is now up to 70% of our diet, is a science experiment. They're hijacking our evolutionary biology, and they're making the food addictive. And working for the food companies, the first part of the devil bargain is making that food normalized.
Fast food tastes good, but it's not good for you. So I understand how it can be an addiction, because these people had years and decades of marketing and strategy behind producing this horrible food for us consumers to buy and to become addicted to it, because at the end of the day, we all know that America is a business. So of course they're only going to put out the best of the best to get you addicted to the stuff, to keep you from your highest potential.
Mainstream media has been lying to you. They've been telling us these superfoods are making us sick. They say salt leads to high blood pressure and heart disease. In reality, a high quality salt can actually aid in hydration, enhance nerve function, and support muscle contractions. Then there's eggs. We're told they're high in cholesterol and bad for our heart, when truly eggs contain a powerhouse of protein, vitamins, healthy fats, and selenium. Then there's red meat. You've probably heard it causes heart disease. Truth is, red meat is rich in protein, iron, zinc, and B vitamins. You just want to steer clear of the industrial kinds. Next is full-fat dairy. Just like other animal-based foods, it's often blamed for heart problems and even weight gain. In reality, these provide essential fatty acids and fat-soluble vitamins like vitamins A and D. Potatoes are another misunderstood food. People say they're full of carbs and contribute to weight gain. In reality, they're loaded with potassium, fiber, and vitamin C and B6, and they're only problematic when they're cooked in seed oils or eaten excessively. Butter also gets a bad rap. We're told it clogs our arteries, but truly, butter is a nutrient-dense source of vitamins A, D, E, and K. Then there's dark chocolate. It's often dismissed as an unhealthy indulgence, when it's actually rich in antioxidants like flavonoids. Just be sure to be mindful of heavy metals and look for a high cacao content. And lastly is coffee. They say it dehydrates us and causes heart issues, when in reality coffee is packed with antioxidants, can boost your metabolism, enhance brain function, and even lower the risk of diseases like Alzheimer's. So don't be fooled by the mainstream narrative. These are superfoods, and after all, they want us to be eating bugs instead.
What I heard bright as day is that whatever the world pushes that's negative is most likely positive, and whatever the world pushes positive is most likely negative. Does that make sense what I'm saying? If the world tells you we shouldn't be doing it, we probably should be doing it. And if the world tells you that we should do it, then we probably shouldn't be doing it. I hope that came out right. I hope that makes sense.
With 175 stores, Whole Foods is the undisputed leader in organic foods and promotes locally grown. But the I-Team has found that much of Whole Foods organics are imported from China.
Honestly, I would have never flipped it over to see that it was a product of China.
Spinach, sugar snap peas, and would you believe California blend vegetables? All listed under the Whole Foods brand 365 Organic. And on the back in small print, product of China. Organic ensures pesticide-free, environmentally friendly conditions. But how do we even know the food is organic? Food sold in this country must be approved by the U.S. Department of Agriculture before they can display the organic label.
The oversight that they have in China is not the same kind of supervision that we have in the United States.
But the USDA doesn't inspect imported foods. It certifies private inspectors to do the job. Whole Foods employs a company called Quality Assurance.
So is Whole Foods a scam? Do America make anything? We just depend on China for everything, huh? China makes shoes, clothes, phones / technology, and hair. What don't China do? But what does America do? That's what I want to know. What are we known for? I guess we known for depending on other countries. That's what it sounds like. But no, in reality, I just want to know, is Whole Foods a scam and what y'all shop there?
Sugar is in your kid's lunchbox? Let's find out. This bread looks healthy. It's got whole grains, but each slice has 3 grams of added cane sugar, and I need 2 to make a sandwich. I need some mayo for a sandwich, but 1 tablespoon has 1 gram of added high fructose corn syrup, not even sugar. So I'll spoon that onto my bread. A little honey ham for my sandwich, but 1 serving has 3 grams of added, yes, a little bit of honey, but cane sugar too. I'll plop down the portion.
Sugar's
and
in
the second piece of bread.
everything.
In the lunchbox it goes. These sun chips sound healthy. They're made of whole grains, but 1 serving has 2 grams of added cane sugar. Kids love fruit snacks. And yes, the first ingredient is fruit, but 1 pouch has 8 grams of added corn syrup and sugar, plus there's artificial flavors and artificial colors. That's a major no. It's time for something a little sweet, some cookies, but 2 cookies has 13 grams of added cane sugar, and sugar's the first ingredient. Plus I don't bake with artificial flavors at home. Let's not forget the yogurt pouch, and yes, organic is nice, but 1 pouch has 5 grams of added cane sugar. Hey Ma, how about some Sunny D? Well, 1 bottle has 15 grams of added high fructose corn syrup, the most addictive form of sugar, and artificial colors. This lunchbox has 53 grams of white cane sugar. That's over 13 teaspoons. Luckily, I got a better option for you. This is sprouted grain organic bread, and 2 slices only has 2 grams of added cane sugar. This mayonnaise is made of avocado oil, but more importantly, 0 grams of added sugar with best-in-class ingredients. It's nice as ham is organic, but 2 slices only has 1 gram of added cane sugar per serving. I'll layer that on the sandwich, plop it in the lunchbox. It's nice to find chips cooked in olive oil, but more importantly, 0 grams of added sugar per serving, along with just a few ingredients. Check out these fruit snacks. 1 pack has 0 grams of added sugar and is made of just fruit, no corn syrup. Here's a better option for cookies. 5 cookies only has 5 grams of added sugar, and that sugar comes from coconut sugar, and there's no nasty artificial flavors. I'll add a few to the lunchbox. Check out this pouch. Organic, yes, but 0 grams of added sugar and made with nutrient-dense fruits and vegetables. And for the juice, check this one out. 0 grams of added sugar and made with organic fruit and vegetables. Only 6 grams of added sugar in this lunchbox compared to 53 grams of sugar in this one. How are kids supposed to focus and not be hyperactive when they eat a lunch like this? Plus, we're heading into cold and flu season. Sugar weakens your immune system. So I ask you this, which lunchbox would you rather give your kids? Which one do you choose for lunch?
She capping.
Okay, that's the Bobby approved one. High five.
Do y'all see how we're addicted to sugar? We've been eating it all of our lives, consuming it. I can't even tell you how many pounds we eat a year. I forgot the number, but it's a huge number of how much pounds of sugar like a typical American eats. Because sugar's in everything. I'm telling you, y'all put me on. When I start changing some eating habits and I start looking at the back of ingredients, I said it's sugar in everything. From your spaghetti sauces to your condiments, like your ketchup, your mustard, relish. Like you could just think of anything. Sugar is in everything. So I see how we're addicted to it. So I see how it's hard to come off of this stuff because it's all we've known. But I love the alternatives because I know I said in the beginning of the video, like your body's really craving fruit. Absolutely. But I also know because we've been addicted to sugar all of our lives that sometimes we do just need to fulfill that sweet tooth. But there's alternatives, better alternatives. to just getting what you normally get. Like you can get like the healthier version or the healthier alternative of what you kind of grew up eating on, because a lot of companies have did that. Like, for example, there's a company that makes Pringles, but they're not Pringles, because I stopped eating Pringles because of the video. I always start the picture here because I forgot the company. I'm pretty sure y'all know, but I start eating theirs because I love Pringles. But when I watched the video, I was like, I got to get off Pringles. I can't sit here and watch these videos and then continue to eat like this when I'm learning about this stuff and it's telling me, now I'm basically myself, or I'm unaliving myself by eating this stuff on a weekly, monthly basis.
This hurts my brain. Kamala Harris just said that she wants to provide first-time home buyers with $25,000 to help with down payment.
That's a lie.
Anyone without a brain is going to look at this and say, oh my God, she wants to give me money. Elon says it very well. Unless you increase the supply of new homes, this just raises the price by $25,000, and it does nothing for affordability. Because there's things that we need to keep in consideration, that who's giving that $25,000 away? Yeah, taxpayers. You're paying for that. I'm paying for that. And if it doesn't come from the taxpayers, it comes from printing more money. And what does that do? Makes things more expensive. Inflation. Trump responded to her post by saying, the average price of a house in 2021 was $307,000, and now, within 3 years, average price of a house has gone up $120,000.
Inflation.
In 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
In 3 years, bro.
Can't imagine another.
That just goes to show you how much can happen in a short amount of time.
Yep.
And one more thing that I just need to say, I haven't made a political post in a while, is because it's just depressing and it just pisses me off, is how can anything that she says be taken seriously by anyone when she is literally in office right now and has jurisdiction right now? She has been vice president. We shouldn't even need to say this, It's like we all know she's been vice president. So how does anything she says, my administration will... Bro, you are currently in administration, dog. Like, hey, good grief.
There are 262 names for sugar. 262. And the reason is because the food industry likes it that way. Because they can use a different name for sugar on the side of the package. And a different sugar can be number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9. And when you add it up, it's number 1. They hide it in plain sight. But virtually every one of those 262, it's because of the fructose. That's the problem. So what is glucose and what is fructose? And while we're at it, what is sucrose and high fructose corn syrup? 2. Glucose is what plants make in starch. Fructose is what plants make in sugar. Starch, not sweet. Sugar, sweet. Glucose, not very sweet. Fructose, very sweet. Fructose is addictive because fructose stimulates the reward center of the brain and tells you, this feels good, I want more.
Right.
In the same way cocaine, heroin, nicotine, and alcohol do. And it makes sense because fructose and alcohol are metabolized the same way, do the same things metabolically.
This company is selling sunlight. Seriously. The
That's
idea
real?
is that you open their app at night, click a button, and they use a satellite to beam light on your exact position so that you can see in the dark. Watch this demo.
Orbital has a new lighting service where you can play with the spot. Yeah, watch this. Just bring it over to us here. Isn't that crazy?
No way.
Orbital has a new
Did you guys see that? Watch. So here he is in the app.
Yeah.
And there's like a map on his app right now. And there's a satellite in the sky, and you can give it a location, and at nighttime it can directly give you light exactly where you're standing. So let me play this through again.
Orbital has a new lighting service where you can play with the spot.
Oh,
but
awesome.
yeah, watch this. Just bring it over to us here. Isn't that crazy?
No way.
Is that not the craziest thing you've ever seen?
It's
You can literally
stupid.
be anywhere at night. You turn on this app and you can point sunlight to wherever you're standing.
Why?
I mean, one of the wildest things that I've personally ever seen in tech, I love crypto. You see flying cars. I think that's nothing compared to this here. I don't know. For some reason, I saw this and I was like, that is the craziest thing I've ever seen. This is their website here. Is selling sunlight using constellation of in-space reflectors. All right. And you can go through this. The sun is a huge fusion reactor that supports all life on Earth. The sun's light contains 24 trillion times more energy than humanity uses today. It is an unending source of energy. Now, the one thing I will say is it could be that that's a demo and it's not a real application of this happening. From what I can tell, it seems legit, but I'm not positive. Reflect captures that sunlight and brings it down to Earth using mirrors in space. Here's a legit website dealing with this, and there's even careers. Let's take a look at this. Open roles: lead vehicle designer, lead avionics engineer, vehicle dynamics and controls engineer, mechanical engineer. We shine a light maybe on this podcast. We do it outside in the dark, and this would be great for Burning Man, maybe some type of festival or something like that. Very, very scary stuff, but one of the weirdest, coolest, interesting things that I've seen.
I'm not buying nothing that I can get for free. Buying sunlight when sun is shown for a very long, lengthy period of time. Oh, people be bored. Y'all better not be on here talking about stuff. I'm going to buy that when it comes out. You know what? I don't even care.
Word on the street is that Cool Whip doesn't melt, so we're gonna test it out. Now, just to show you guys, this just came out of the refrigerator. You can see that it has the condensation on it. This is what it looks like coming out of the fridge. I'm gonna make homemade whipping cream in this. So I'm pouring heavy whipping cream in here. Have a little cartridge, goes in this guy, and then I screw it into here.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so I have real whipped cream in this bowl. And then on this side, I have Cool Whip. Note the time on the clock. All right, it's 2:26. Look at this. This is starting to melt. You see that? It's starting to turn back into cream. This has not budged. It is 5:19. This is melting. The Cool Whip has not budged.
The heck?
It's 8:24 the next morning, and this is what they look like. So this melted and also just shrunk. This looks exactly the same.
What are we eating?
As when I first took it out of the fridge. Let's talk about why this didn't melt. Let's go to the ingredient label.
Look at the
list. There is
list.
less than 2% of cream in here. It's mostly emulsifiers and preservatives. There's corn syrup and high fructose corn syrup. They are corn-based sweeteners linked to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and type 2 diabetes. Hydrogenated vegetable oil. The FDA required companies to remove partially hydrogenated vegetable oil from foods because it contains trans fats. They also said in 2020 that fully hydrogenated oil should be used sparingly because it's not great for our health. There's natural and artificial flavoring, xanthan and guar gums, modified food starch, polysorbate 60 and sorbitan monostearate are emulsifiers, and then sodium polyphosphate is a preservative. This is not real food.
Average American is the sickest and weakest species on the planet. Physically, most Americans can barely manage 10 push-ups or a single pull-up. We also carry an average body fat percentage of between 28 and 42%. But it's not just physical health that's suffering. The average American is also likely to develop at least 2 chronic diseases, 1 mental health condition, and take a staggering 4 or more prescription medications daily to manage these conditions. This whole situation is so dire that 77% of young adults today are now ineligible to serve in our own military due to these physical and mental health issues. Not to mention the average American's fertility rate has also dropped by 50% since the 1960s, and sperm counts have plummeted by over 60% in recent decades. And just to top it all off, despite the healthcare industry being the fastest growing sector in the country, our life expectancy is literally decreasing. Now, obviously I can't confirm whether or not the overarching goal here is in fact depopulation, but based off of everything I just relayed, I can confirm that striving for average or putting your blind faith in this system is unfortunately a ticket to a shorter and less fulfilling life.
This one chemical be the cause of the massive increase we're seeing in brain problems, ADHD, Alzheimer's, autism, bipolar, even celiac disease, depression, diabetes, hypothyroid problems, this one chemical, could it be the causative factor? The answer is, I believe it is. This is the last 30 years of increase. Listen to this. This is staggering, and you're going to want to share this video. ADHD has increased in the last 30 years. That means since 1990 on through, 119%, staggering. What about autism? 2,094%. Bipolar? 10,833%. Chronic fatigue syndrome, 11,000 and some odd percent. Depression, 280%. Fibromyalgia, 7,200%. Hypothyroid, almost 800% increase since the 1990s. This one chemical. And you know what? We're all being exposed, but there is something you and your family can do to lower the exposure. The chemical is called glyphosate. It's a chemical that they're spraying on all of our food, and evidently it's in 60% of the rainfall. The point is, I've done a video of why it's important to eat the clean foods or organic. If you can't afford organic, eat from the Clean 15. Please wash your fruits and vegetables because this chemical has to be avoided. When you look at those numbers, it's causing leaky gut, it's causing brain problems. I'm telling you, we and our families, we need to avoid this.
Y'all, this is the end of this video. I want to give a shout out to Big B24 and Epic because they were the ones that were sending in like the last couple of videos. And because I shouted them out previously, I didn't shout them out again, but I was letting you know they was going in. It was like they was like tag team, and they was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with dropping videos. So I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, and thank you for those that have sent in videos. I truly appreciate it. I also want to say I kind of did like a test before I start recording, and I didn't hear it, so I'm praying that you guys can't hear it because I don't know what happened, but my computer or my PC is making this noise and it's ticking me off. It's the fan, and the fan is like loud and it's like it's doing that. So I've been trying to just ignore it, and I'm doing great, but I'm praying. I said all that to say that I'm praying that it didn't pick up like on my mic. So I hope you guys can't hear it. It's still gonna be a great video though. I'm still gonna upload it, but I'm just saying if you guys happen to hear noises, it's from my PC, but if you don't, then hallelujah. And speaking of hallelujah, I want to give all esteem, all glory, all praises to my Salva Yahuwah Lord and my Abba, my Adonai Yahusha HaMashiach for blessing me with everything as a whole, for them working in and through me. I have to give credit and honor where it's due. I also wanted to say I appreciate for all of you guys that have been shopping the merch. You guys have been buying. You guys have been just supporting. I really, truly appreciate it. Like, if you watched this video, if you gotten this far, I thank you. If you sat there, you liked the video, if you commented on the video, if you subscribe, if you're just a loyal watcher, if you just don't be saying nothing, but just be, look, I appreciate the love and support because it doesn't go unnoticed. I promise you. I also wanted to speak on the fact that, I don't know if y'all see the new vibes, the new aesthetic, but I'm not filming on a webcam no more. I have upgraded to one of my cameras. So I hope and I pray that the camera quality as well. You guys let me know if it's a bigger difference. I'm only invisible because of how far back I am. But I had to upgrade from a camera because with, you know, the green screen and the vibes and stuff like that, it was just better for me to use a camera. Plus I was getting kind of blurry. Then I would kind of be like out of focus and the info. It was just too much. So I said it's time to just use the camera. Y'all let me know in the comment section how you guys like and enjoy it. We are on the road to 1 million. That is so crazy. But thank you guys to the bottom of our heart because yeah, this wouldn't be possible without Yahuwah and Yahusha HaMashiach and with you guys as well that he sent over to support and to like uplift this channel. So again, all praises go unto them. All praises go unto them because I don't do nothing on my own. But let me stop talking because I need to film some more videos. Y'all have a blessed one. I'll see you on the next one. Shalom, shalom.
You can't bring me down. I know who I belong to. Yeah. What? I won't sell my